Which of these items are you absolutely not allowed to bring on an airplane?
Hi, my name is Julianne, also known as Roadrunner, and in 2022 I thru hiked the entire Appalachian Trail, and this year in 2024 I am planning to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. And I am about to head out on a shakedown hike on the Appalachian Trail. That's why you see all this stuff back here. And I thought this would be a really great video to talk about how to actually travel with your gear. I know that when I started preparing for my Appalachian Trail thru hike, I was a little bit concerned about how will I bring all my gear to Georgia from Florida, and that would be via airplane. And so of course I had to do a bunch of research. What kind of gear could or could not be put on an airplane? And so I do want to kind of like start this video out by saying this is my personal experience from having flown a bunch of times, probably 5 to 6 times with my gear, and kind of having that experience, what you can actually carry on an airplane and what you actually need to check and what you will not be able to bring with you whatsoever. So did anybody guess which gear or which piece of gear you're actually not able to bring onto an airplane whatsoever? Yes, that is the fuel canister. You are not allowed to check this, as well as you are not allowed to carry this on an airplane. So a lot of hikers will just buy the fuel for their stoves at their destination. So when I did my thru hike of the Appalachian Trail, I had my shuttle driver bring me a canister. And when I went on my Tahoe Rim Trail thru hike, my trail angel brought me a canister. And actually I think I was able to go to an outfitter and buy a canister as well. And on my Pacific Crest Trail thru hike, that's exactly what I'll be doing. I'll be stopping at an REI or a Walmart. I know that the shuttle brings you by some stores, and I will be picking up a fuel canister in California. So this is something that you are not able to bring with you on an airplane whatsoever. Not checked, as well as not carry on. And that brings me to a lighter. A lot of people would think that is exactly the same. Now, a lighter is something that you cannot put into a checked bag, but you can carry it on with you. And I was really surprised about that because it's a flame. It has fuel in there. I guess people aren't really concerned about that, but yes, you can put a lighter on to carry on. So I usually put this into my fanny pack and carry it on with me because you are not allowed to check a lighter. The other piece of gear that you are not allowed to check onto an airplane, but you can carry on, is your power bank. I actually have my power bank right here, and you are not allowed to put this into your checked bags, but you can carry on the battery or the power bank. So again, I put this into my fanny pack and I just carry it on. The one thing that's probably pretty obvious that you are not able to carry on is a knife, my neck knife, right? So normally what I do is I send this forward via mail. I usually like to carry on my backpack, and because I feel more secure having it with me at all time, this is the one piece of gear that I need to send forward via mail. Now you can check a knife such as this one. So tomorrow I'm actually going to, for the probably the second time since the Appalachian Trail, I am going to check my knife for the second time in 2 years. So I love this knife. I'm very worried about it, but this goes into my checked bag tomorrow. The next piece of gear are the trekking poles. A lot of people say that you cannot carry these on with you and that you must check the trekking poles. Of course, when I did my Appalachian Trail thru hike, I checked almost everything, but I usually do carry these on with me, and I never ever had any problems carrying these on to an airplane. That doesn't mean that other people don't have problems with trekking poles. I know that my former hiking partner had to throw away her trekking poles at the end of the Appalachian Trail thru hike. And I do know that one time when I went through the Asheville airport, there were big signs saying you cannot carry on your trekking poles. And I was lucky enough at that time that I had an extra set of trekking poles with a friend in North Carolina, so I wasn't even carrying these on with me, so I didn't need to get rid of my trekking poles. But yes, trekking poles, and I kind of understand, like, you can literally beat somebody up with these, or I don't really even know why you can't carry them on, but probably because you could hurt somebody with these. They also have sharp tips, so maybe that's why. But I have had very good experience being able to carry these on. But that means that you are kind of gambling taking these with you onto the airplane. And I would recommend either checking them or sending them forward. And then last but not least is my stove. Now, I've never had a problem, once again, to carry on my stove. In the 5 to 6 times that I've traveled from the Appalachian hike, and I think I actually carried on my backpack on the flight back from Maine to Florida, so I didn't have it checked, it was with me. And I had my stove with me, and every time I did a section hike, I would carry on my stove. But on my last section hike, they, went through my luggage because they found some liquid food, and as they would rummage through the liquid food, they also found my tiny Victorinox knife, which I also always was able to carry on, but they actually found it. And of course it's a knife. I don't know what I was thinking. Of course it's something you cannot carry on with you, but I've never had a problem with it. But anyway, so for the very first time, they looked at my stove and they were like, "What is this?" And I was like, "It's a stove." And he's like, "What do you do with it?" I was like, "You put it on a fuel canister and then you have fire." And so they were really trying to research if this is something that you can carry onto the airplane. And it's definitely another piece of gambling from here on out for me. I would probably either forward this from now on, or I would check it, which is what I'm going to do tomorrow. And I have heard from a bunch of other hikers that they get their stoves confiscated. Now, this is my stove from the Appalachian Trail thru hike, so this is very dear to my heart, and I'm not going to gamble this stove. And I will not probably be carrying it on from here on out, and I'll probably always check it or send it forward. And as I understand the reason why, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure people in the comments would know much more about this, if there is any sort of residue fuel in your stove that could be considered dangerous, I'm not sure how, since you are able to carry a lighter with you online. Like, legally, you're allowed to carry this. So I don't really get how you can't carry a stove with you, since it's like the same concept. It just has residue fuel in it, but it is a point of contention when it comes to being able to carry onto the airplane. So that is what you will need to do. You need to check your stove, your knife, and your trekking poles, and you will need to carry on your battery as well as your lighter. You will not be able to bring the fluid. So that is my information when it comes to what you can and cannot carry on an airplane when it comes to gear. If you have any gear that you had experience with that was problematic, put it into the comment section. And for now, we'll see you later, and hope you are going to join me for my Pacific Crest Trail thru hike. Thank you so much.